Let's start at 28. Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appoint unto you a kingdom as my Father hath appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom and sit on thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. When you look up this word for table, all right, we're going to sit directly at the table with Yahweh Shai, judging the matters of the whole entire planet Earth. Okay, the word table is trapeza. Trapeza, a table on which food is placed, an eating place. Now we know that we're going to eat and drink with him, but more importantly, this table symbolizes the table in which the priest sat, handling the affairs of the nation of Israel, taking in all of the increase, the goods, the first fruits that will come to the temple would all be given unto the priest. So it says the table in the temple at Jerusalem on which the consecrated loaves were placed, right? And it says the table or stand of a money changer, where he sits exchanging different kinds of money for a fee and paying back with loans or deposits. Now, when we go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 12th verse, now remember, these are the blessings. We got to remember to tap into these blessings. Yeah, we know the curses are from Deuteronomy 28:15 on down, but when you read the blessings, you get insight into what we are getting ready to inherit. Now, one of the things that Yahweh Shai said that we just read is that we're going to sit at his table with him. Chairs of the 12 tribes of Israel, setting everything in order, being at the forefront, all right, of establishing forever in paradise. Deuteronomy 28:12, Yahweh shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven to give the rain unto thy land in his season. Meaning everything is going to flourish, everything is going to be on point, won't be any drought, right? The seasons are going to come in perfection, everything will flourish, no GMOs, right? And to bless all the work of thine hand, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. Read that in the NLT. It says you will lend to many nations, but you will never need to borrow from them. So when you understand the kingdom of heaven being a priest after the order of Melchizedek, which is Yahweh Shai, we are going to be the bankers of the nation of Israel. We're going to be the bankers of the whole world. But see, we're going to deal in righteousness. And we will be able to lend to heathen. We will be able to deny loans. We'll be at the forefront of how everything flows throughout the whole four corners of the earth. The Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail. And thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. See, and this is what's promised unto us under Yahweh Shai's kingdom. Joint heirs of what? Being at the forefront of creation. Being at the forefront of setting everything back in its proper perspective, putting everything where it needs to be. All right, from trees to, everything that you can imagine. And we're going to do this in new bodies.
Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. All right, and what we're going to get into this morning, news and prophecy, signs of the times, and the last push. All right, because the Lord, has pressure on Esau Edom. As Esau Edom is getting ready to put pressure on the masses, well, their pressure comes from up top, from Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Okay, and prophecy is putting pressure on Esau Edom, okay, to where he's going to have to put pressure on the masses and go for this last push to establish this new world order. Okay, and the brother got some beautiful precepts, okay, to go into, the Wada Akia. This the brother you call Hope for 144. All right, this Habakkuk 2 and 3. It said, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. Okay, and we're in the time appointed where certain visions are beginning to unfold. Certain things that our forefathers seen thousands of years ago, now they're happening real time. It's happening. Okay, everything spoken of, all right, according to prophecy that hasn't happened, well, it's happening. There's nothing that's not happening. The MOTB is in motion. World War III is in motion. Civil unrest is in motion. Okay, famine is in motion. Okay, the persecution of the prophets, all these things are in motion, man. There's nothing that's not happening, man. And it was all in its appointed time. Okay, the famine of the word is all in its appointed time. You see? So when you keep reading, it said, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So we're seeing prophecy speak. Okay, we're seeing prophecy begin to dominate the headlines. Okay, through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. And this is the Lord showing that He is. And this should be a faith booster, man. Every day, should be a faith booster as we see our power in work, man. He's doing everything He said He was going to do. You see? And we don't have to, know every move that the elites are making. We know the moves that they gotta make. Okay? We know the moves they gotta make according to prophecy. So we don't need to know every move, every detail about the elites. We know what prophecy is going to force them to do. You see? And now we in the time, let's go here, and the spirit been on, the beloved elder apostle to heart, to really speak about the end of this thing, man. Hey, we finna close this thing out. Okay? Hey, the Lord is getting ready to close this thing out, man. And may we endure and be delivered, man. Because it's about mercy at this time. All right, this is Luke 21 and 28. It says, and when things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth not, man. Okay, so as we see these things coming to pass, man, redemption draweth not. Okay, it's not a lot that needs to happen, man. And you see, time hasn't sped up for nothing. And the whole world has noticed the increase in the speed of time. Okay, because the Lord is finishing Esau out. All right, and what we're seeing this devil having to do is fast track everything, man. This devil is being forced to where he has to fast track everything. Okay, he's gonna have to make certain mandates even before he's fully ready, man. Okay, because he's not in control. It's the Yahweh Bashem Al Shai that's in control, man. Okay, now I want to go here dealing with the signs. Let's get this in Joel 2 and 30. It says, this Joel 2 and 30 says, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood, fire, and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, the moon into blood, and we've seen blood moons and solar eclipse. Okay, as prophecy is unfolding, and there's just been an uptick. We even seen a blue moon. Okay, they got a phrase once in the blue moon, showing you how rare that is. We've seen the blue moon. Okay, we've seen the moon with a ring of fire around. Okay, the eclipse that came to America that made the thought. One path of the eclipse came in 2007. Okay, 2017, and another one came in 2024. 7 years later, which is completion. Okay, and it made the Hebrew character tha. Okay, which is the end. Okay, everything speaks towards the end. All right, just as it says in the brother want to get that in the second Ezra, I think 9 and 4. You know, yeah, second Ezra chapter 9 verses 4 and 5. Okay, so we're starting to see an uptick on these things, man. And even in that same chapter in the book of Luke, we was getting into. Let's get this in the book of Luke, chapter 21. All right, this is the book of Luke. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verses 25. It says, "And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nation with perplexity in the sea and the waves roaring." Okay, so there's constant, indicators in the heavens to show what time we in, man. You see, and they're just the Lord giving indicators to the elect. Now on the flip side, Esau Edom, he's looking at these signs and he's thinking that they're good omens for him. Okay, going back to January 28th, I mean not January, February 28th, when he did the airstrike, all right, and they did the assassination on the Iranian supreme leader. You had 6 planets aligned, okay, that night, that Saturday night when they did the strike. Okay, then they struck the the children, the little girls, which that was a sacrifice to Satan, man. Okay, this is how the elites operate off, witchcraft on the left hand side. They get their instructions from the left hand side. As we see what's happening in the earth, and we get these signs in the heaven, where we know that the Lord is getting ready to bring to pass everything that is written, man. Okay, and then it spoke about what? Distress and perplexity. All right. All right, we're gonna see perplexity on the increase, because let's get this word perplexity. Okay. I got a video just going into some signs that's getting ready, to be in the heavens, man. Okay. Now when you go into perplexity, and just get this word in the root. Get the root word for it.
Strong's
G
G
639.
639.
Apareo.
Apareo.
Apareo. Okay. Yep. See, without resources, like we speak about with the famines. Okay, people not gonna have light, water. Okay, shouldn't be bad, man. Because these devils, one thing too, these devils have to bring crisis, man. Okay, because the American population, they want to depopulate. Okay, the American population. You see, and then they want to make the MOTB seem as a solution, as a fix-all. Okay, it's gonna be more marketable. See, people are more. It's more easy to manipulate when you got people in constant fear and confusion. So he has to bring straits. Okay, it says to be at loss with oneself, to be in doubt, and people are going to be lost, not knowing what to do, what's next, why it's happening, who's doing it, and that's the state that he wants the masses in. Okay, to present this C-hip and this technocracy as a hero. Okay, so he has to bring crisis, man. So prepare to see major events happen in America, man, that really change everything, man. What they call black swan events, man. That has to come. Okay? Because like I say, with places like China, all they have to do is just mandate the C-hip. They already have the infrastructure in China. They got a lot of it in Russia. Iran already has digital ID. American citizens have to catch up. It's going to be a lot of emphasis on the citizens of America when it comes to these crises that they're getting ready to bring. Okay, and people are going to be perplexed. It says not know how to decide or what to do, to be perplexed, man. Okay, and this is the state that people are getting ready to be in. Okay, a state of perplexity, man. And we see the build up to these things, man. Okay, because these devils, they're being forced. Esau don't have no choice. Okay, Esau don't have no options in the situation. No, he has All right, he's under command by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to do particular things. Jacob's trouble ain't an Edomite option. It's a command. Okay, famine. All right, the persecution of the prophets, mandating the MOTB. This is all a command from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai that Esau has to carry out. Okay, so when you go, let's see, let's get this, and shalom to you, beloved brothers, all right, and you sisters tuning in, but yeah, let's get this, and then we're gonna segue to this first video. Okay, so let's go here. Appreciate from the brother. It's the brother Yashamai, tribe of Judah. Okay. 2nd Ezra 9:4 says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spoke of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. And what we have to understand, everything was already set up in the beginning. The Most High just pushed play, and everything is playing out exactly how he set it up from the beginning. Okay. Esau's in power at this time because that's how the Lord set it up. Esau will be the end of the world. That was already established before the earth was. Okay? It ain't because Esau is this clever military genius and this economic, savvy nigga. No. It's because it was predestined. Okay? Everything goes back to predestination, man. Us waking up in this time, it was predestined for a remnant to wake up in these last days, man. That's why there's no boasting in this thing. Esau boasts as if he put himself in power and he's going to keep himself in power. No, he's delusional. And the Lord, because Esau has the masses delusional and the Most High has Esau delusional, man. If a brother want to get that, real quick, Job chapter 12, verse 16, Baba Shah, Oh yeah, 12, 16, and 17. Yeah, Job chapter 12, verse 16 and 17. 17 hard. Because that's what we seen playing out. Yeah, Baba Shah gets 17. Yeah, 17 hard. So let's go here, verse 5. It says 2nd Ezra 9:5. It said, for like as all that is made in the world had the beginning and the end is manifest, man. Okay, the end has manifested himself. Okay, everything that needs to happen, all right, for the end has manifested itself, man. Okay, the nukes are already in the silos. Okay, the nations are already warned. The alliances spoken of in the Bible are already happening. Okay, you're just waiting on the mandate, the crisis, then the mandate. Okay, so everything is already in place. The end is manifest. Yahweh Shai on deck. The angels, everything that needs, everything that's in place, man, for this last scene, okay, of Esau's kingdom. Because we're in the last scene of Esau's kingdom. That's a lesson within itself. You see, let me write that down before I forget it. I can have it writing these titles down. Okay, but we're in the last scene of Esau's kingdom. You see, and everything is in place. The prophets are on the scene because we play a part in the last scene of Esau's kingdom. You see, last scene of kingdom. Yeah. So, let's get these. Brother got. This is the brother. This is the brother Atazawam, hopeful, Lake Job 12:16. It said, with him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. Okay? The deceived and the deceiver are his, man, with the Most High strength and wisdom. Not with the elites. Okay? They've been given over, all right, to they The Lord has allowed them to tap into the left hand. Okay, certain witchcraft. Okay, the Lord has assisted this man with the technology, because Most High wants Esau delusion. He wants Esau to think that he's some type of God, so he can fulfill prophecy, man. Because you have to think, you have to have crazy confidence to think that you can replace the Most High with technology, man. So the Lord has allowed Esau to tap into some things, man, to go way beyond any other heathen has gone. Okay, but he did that for the sake of deceiving this man. Okay, it's all about, the will of the Lord. Okay, being fulfilled. Okay, and the left and the right work together for the purpose of the Lord to play out in the earth, man. And it's all in righteousness. And this the point. Mr. Brother Tyler on Hopeful Elect, Job 12:17. He leadeth counselors away spoiled and maketh the judges fools. Okay? He leadeth counselors away spoiled. Esau Edom. All these counsels of what they want to do, and they want to do this, and Agenda 2030, and this and that, and all these agendas and counsels that you devils are having. All right, the Lord going to lead them away spoiled. They're going to go into slavery when they get through plotting and scheming, and let's do this, and let's try this, and let's pull this off, and this agenda, and let's put this in. No, you're going to end up in slavery, man. They'll leech themselves, man. Okay, it says, and make it the judges fools, man. And Esau is looking like a goddamn fool, okay, as he's trying to pull this off, man. Okay, and you have to look at this man as a goddamn fool. Okay, the fact that he's even trying to attempt this, man. Okay, so let's play this real quick. Play a few minutes of it.
Next Wednesday, you may want to take a moment to look up at the sky. 4 celestial events will overlap. The planetary alignment, also known as a planetary parade, will take place early in the morning. Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune will be visible. Plus, there's a partial solar eclipse in some areas. NASA will live stream the eclipse starting at 10:15 a.m. The real excitement, the Perseid meteor shower. Under ideal conditions, people in some areas of the world could see up to 100 meteors between midnight and dawn. And it's a new moon Wednesday as well, meaning the sky will be nice and dark to see the Perseids.
Some classic summer stargazing, because there are some rare events happening in our skies this month, including meteor showers and a partial solar eclipse.
3 spectacular sky events, one single day, and the internet is already talking about the end of the world. That is August 12th.
Well, mark that date on your calendar, as it will bring a rare cosmic lineup that has already sparked wild doomsday theories online. But some claim that it is a warning, others call it the universe's biggest show of the year. But what is it that is really going to happen?
And what you're seeing with that meteor shower is debris from the comet 109P Swift-Tuttle. And speaking of August 12th, we'll also have a partial solar eclipse that day, but only 20% of the sun will be covered at 1:48 p.m. So that would be Wednesday, August 12th, at least for our region. The path of totality will be in Iceland and Spain. So this 20% coverage can really only be seen with eclipse glasses. If you just try to look with the naked eye, you won't really notice any difference in the brightness of the sun. We also have a partial lunar eclipse coming at the end of the month, the night of August 27th into the 28th at 12:12. That's when the maximum eclipse will be. 93% of the moon will be covered, and it will appear dark red except for a small sliver of the upper right corner. So get your binoculars ready, perhaps your eclipse glasses, dust them off from the couple of years ago when we had that total solar eclipse. Get ready for some celestial treats to end summer.
Now, pretty soon,
Yeah. You see? And then it's a spirit is happening on what? The new moon. On our new moon. You see, these things ain't no coincidence, man. Okay? And Esau, because as we call Esau, as we know that we refer to the elites as the Chaldeans. Well, let's look into the Chaldeans. Because as we look at these things as evidence that these prophecies are being fulfilled, the prophecies written, all right, aforetime, Okay, the visions of our forefathers, the Lord gave to our forefathers, we understand that, okay, the Lord is fulfilling these things. So we're watching our Lord. All right, we're watching Yahweh Bashim Shai do everything he said he was going to do, even to the signs in heaven. We're seeing it. Okay, and there's no coincidence that that's happening on the new moon. Okay, you have all these different alignments and partial eclipse and meteor showers. And nah, man, these are signs in the heaven. Now, I want to pull this up real quick. I asked it, and y'all let me know how the sound is. I think I fixed my sound problem, but y'all let me know how it sound. And I know that the video been echoing, so I'll be muting it while they play. But yeah, let me know about the sound and the video. How I sound. I listened to a few of them. Y'all saying it was a little low, and it was low. But I think I fixed the problem. So just let me know if I'm sounding loud and clear, and if the video doesn't have the echo anymore. I'm trying to be on point. But let's look at this real quick. Okay, so I had asked it. I said, were the ancient Chaldeans expert in astrology, and did they get their instructions, okay, from the constellations? It says yes. The ancient Chaldeans were renowned master astrologers of the ancient world who meticulously tracked the night sky to interpret the will of the gods. Okay, so on the left hand, the elites, the Chaldeans, are looking at these signs. Okay, and they're looking at certain omens. They're telling them to make certain moves. Okay, but the Most High controls the right hand and the left. So ultimately, those are just left hand instructions on the from the Most High. You see, Esau was getting his marching orders from the Most High through the left hand side. Okay, so when they look at these signs and these alignments and particular things, well, they interpret this as omens from their gods. Okay, to go with their move. You see? So let's come the water. Yeah, the water. Yeah, I think I had two of these stream yards open at one time and it affected the mic, but yeah, we should be good. And if it's ever get low again, just let me know. And that video echo, let me know as well. They're trying to be on point. You see? But yeah, so let's keep reading, dealing with the Chaldeans. It said experts in astrology. It says master stargazers. Matter of fact, brother, gotta put it. Isaiah 47, verses 12 through the end of the chapter. And just let the rest of the clip ride. Yeah, Isaiah chapter 47, verses 12, the rest of the chapter. Okay. And it goes directly into it. It says, master stargazers, the ancient Greeks and Roman writers, all right, the term Chaldean became a title for professional diviners and astrologers from the region of Babylonia. These priests, scholars spent their lives charting the movements of the sun, moon, and planets, compiling massive instructional handbooks of celestial omens on clay tablet. It says divine writings. It said they did not receive literal spoken instructions from the stars. Instead, they believed the gods communicated through the writing of the heavens. Okay, through the writing of the heavens. So when they look up and and now they got NASA, they got satellites, so they tapped in. Because even NASA, all right, because you go into the Hebrew word for serpent, all right, is similar to NASA. Okay, really, when you go into the serpent, it's going into when you go into NASA, it really goes back to the Hebrew word in Genesis 3rd chapter, which is the serpent. Okay, so they're looking, at these constellations, and on the left hand side, they're tapped in, to what? The communication with the gods. Okay, and they're getting their instructions. You see, and they're getting their instructions. They're getting their instructions from the left hand side. But what's the source of those instructions? From the Most High. The brother can get that with Isaiah 45 and 7. You see. So going back to It says, reading Omens said the constellation and wandering planets were seen as manifestations of the house of the gods. By watching how these celestial bodies interacted, the priests read divine warnings and advised kings on events like wars, weather, and political shifts. So it's the Chaldeans, the elites in the background, look, telling Trump, look, go to war. Okay, we looking in the heavens. It's time to go to war. Okay, they telling this nigga, we got it. Okay, but guess what? They're deceived. They walked into a trap, and now they locked in. They can't move. You see, everybody's locked into an escalation. All right, trap. Okay, because in their mind, the least looked at this as a swift victory. That's why you think they kept saying this gonna be 3-4 days when they did this. It's gonna be 3-4 days. Okay, it's gonna be a week. They be getting signed. Okay, but they're deceived. Like what the if a brother want to post that, if you can find it too, when the Lord sent the lion spirit. Okay, so these devils be getting counsel from lion spirits, man. Okay, sent by the Most High on the left hand side. Well, I know that brother know exactly where it's at. You know, you see that brother Young Scribe. You know, brother GMSDC, Tazadak, Dayara. You know, but yeah, brother can find that. But let's get a couple of precepts. You know, yeah, brother, right on time. You know, hell yeah. So let's go here. This your brother Yashima, tribe of Judah. Okay, and let me go ahead and cue up this other this next video as well. Okay, because they in their mind, you know, the guys favor their enterprise. You know, with that Latin saying, what's that Latin saying? That phrase I can never remember. You know, my Latin is bad. You know, but a brother pull up that phrase, I knew it. Coeptis. You know, the Lords have favored our enterprise, the gods, you know, and that's what these devils believe, you know, wholeheartedly, man. That's why they tapped in, you know. But let's pull this one up. Just want to have this queued up and then. But yep, let's get this and it's Isaiah 47:13. It says, "Thou art weary," is the brother Yashima, tribe of Judah. It said, "Thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsels." Okay, let me start at 12. All right, this is brother Yashima, tribe of Judah, Isaiah 47:12. It says, "Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so thou mayest prevail." Okay, if so thou mayest prevail. And this is the Lord mocking these devils, like, look, stay with them enchantments. You know, hey, keep doing those enchantments that you use to come into power, to maintain your power, to enchant the masses, to stay, you know, so many, you know, steps ahead. Okay, use that now. The Lord is mocking Esau, man. Okay, the elites ain't above the judgment of the Most High. They not above being deceived and being made to be delusional. This is light work, man. What we seeing our power doing with Esau, man. Okay. What said verse 13 said, "Thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from the things there shall be." Okay? So the Lord is saying, look, let your stargazer save you from me, nigga. Okay? Since you a God now, since you don't reach godhood now, well, let your prognosticators, your stargazers, let them save you from me, nigga. Okay? And we seeing how this playing out. Okay? Everything this devil is doing is beginning to backfire, man. Okay? To where he just gonna have to wild out and go for it, man, and throw that Hail Mary. Okay? The New World Order is a Hail Mary. Why this nigga is running out of bounds? Okay? It said Isaiah 47:14 said, behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them, they shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm it, nor a fire, okay, nor a fire to sit before it, man. You know? So what we're going to see is judgment go forth on the left hand. We're seeing the Lord getting ready to judge the left hand. Okay, and Esau being at the forefront. You see? And this going to be on the 12th. So it's going to be interesting to see what these devils do. You know, these small hats already been talking like, look, America, you know, trying to shy away from this war. So the small hats said, nigga, we going to attack Iran, get it back started. Okay? We ain't going to wait on America, man. Okay? So the Lord got everybody locked into their role. The least of the flock shall draw them out. That's all the small hats are here for. Okay? To keep the flame going on this war that's going to lead to America being a complete desert. The land of the Chaldeans being a complete desert, man. Okay? And the Chaldeans going into captivity, man, along with, all right, these other heathens, man, these other nations. Okay? So verse 15, it says, thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every man unto his quarter, none shall save thee, man. And Esau can do nothing to get himself out this predicament, man. He just got to ride with it now. He got to ride with the war no matter how it's going. Okay? He got to come, he got to make his, he got to roll out this new world order no matter what he had with it. Okay? You got to roll it out now. You got to come on with it. You a God. You see? So now the Lord really got pressure on Esau, man. You know, and he's the seed. All right. This is this is the brother GMS DC titled Doc Yara I 144. 1 Kings 1 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 20. It says, and the Lord said, now this is a council in the heavens where you have angels on the right and angels on the left. So the Lord is inquiring, okay, who's going to persuade Ahab? Who's going to set Ahab up for failure? All right, well, he was this nigga was a super wicked king, okay, of Israel. And it says, 1 Kings 22:20 says, and the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord, so you got these spirits saying, look, I'm gonna do this. They bidding for this nigga, man. So you know it's the spirits in the heaven, you know, that they get off. The scriptures say that these angels, these spirits in the heavens, these angels on the left and the right, they get off on pleasing the Lord. Okay? You see, this is a council in the heaven that we're seeing playing out in the earth. They got Esau looking silly out here, man. You see? This is what we're seeing playing out. So the council took place in the heaven and Esau looking silly as hell. Okay, and we're seeing this with Ahab, man, and just replace Ahab with Esau. Who gonna be a lying spirit to Esau? Okay, it says, and the Lord said unto him, wherewith he said, I will go forth and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him. Okay, thou shalt persuade him and prevail. Go forth and do so. So this is what we're seeing with Esau, man. He's full of his stargazers, his prognosticators, they're full of lying spirits, giving him instructions of failure. Okay, because the Lord is wrapping Esau up, man. All right, so Esau be doing a lot of talking, but no, what does this prophecy say? That's the play, you know. And the Lord has opened us up to understand prophecy in these last days, man. Okay, 1 Kings 22:23. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these prophets, and the Lord has spoken evil concerning thee, man. And the Lord has spoken evil concerning Esau. Okay. The Lord has spoken evil. All right, concerning Esau, man. Okay, yeah. Terrible idea, man. But he was feeling himself. That's a beautiful point, because America gonna go out like Scarface. All them, all them soldiers that kept coming, because America gonna get some shots off. You see, but they gonna be what, overwhelmed and turned to a desert, man. That's how America finna go out like Scarface, man. You see, it's gonna be a thumbnail, man. America going out like Scarface, man. Well, let's play this, because as he kick this war off, this devil now has to roll out this new world order. He has to roll this thing out, this technocracy, man. Okay, ready or not. Okay, he gotta roll it. He gotta come on with it. He gotta come on with these crises. He gotta come on with it. Okay, prophecy is blessing Esau, man. Okay, he don't have time to sit back there. Nah. The decisions got to be made. Okay, so let's play this.
One is the automatic third lock.
And y'all let me know how the audio sound.
There are three legs to the stool of digital control. One is digital ID. One is the automatic third lock. Sometimes I refer to it as programmable money. And then the third is the hardware and software infrastructure. The data centers and AI, they're building that very quickly. They're pushing for digital IDs around the world very quickly. And of course, with the Clarity Act and Genius Act in the United States and efforts around the world, they're clearly trying to get that automated third lock in place with programmable money. How soon you can get this all working? I'm watching automated software make a mess in many different industries across the board, especially if you're a customer. And what I see coming together is got to be one of the biggest potential messes we've ever seen. I've been focused at Solari on putting up.
She said one of the biggest potential messes she's ever seen. Okay, this is gonna be tacky as hell. What this nigga is getting ready to do, try to do, man. Okay, because you look at it, and how much this devil has to do with so little time, man. It can't help but to be thrown together. Okay, it cannot help but to be thrown together, man. Okay.
Guardrails on the Genius Act stablecoins. As we've been doing that, what we have learned is that you have the banks now saying they're going to move bank deposits onto distributed ledger, and DTC is going to have a pilot to begin to move $114 trillion of stocks and bonds on distributed ledger. So in fact, where we were focused on the Genius Act, now we're faced with getting guardrails up on all bank deposits and all stocks and bonds, and that's before we even discuss real estate. So, they're clearly moving very fast.
People don't buy products. They buy experiences.
That's why I've been.
How fast can they move from pilot to, the financial system? Think of it this way. Over here, you have hundreds of trillions of dollars of financial assets. It's bank deposits, stocks and bonds, currency, and now you're going to acquire a guy, and you're going to affect enormous changes in how the financial markets operate, who they operate with, how the whole thing works. I've never seen a bigger change happen, let alone talk. It sounds to me like they think they can do this in a couple of years. To me, that usually means they're just talking their book. And what we're headed into is a pretty big mess for 1 to 3 years. But I don't think anybody knows. We are in uncharted territory. It's not like there's ever been a trial run here. My experience in the US, at least, the financial system was sort of layered up through a committee system, and you had different ways of quietly getting together and building consensus and a process of organizing decision making. And the reason the sort of mystery always was who was the top and how did they make the decisions. And so I invented the term Mr. Global, not because I know who Mr. Global is, but because, somewhere there's the committee, that oversees all the other committees, is my experience. And in my experience, it is very intentionally managed. In other words, you have groups of people who are responsible for managing the financial system and the allocation of capital. So think of the planet as a house, and you have the assets, but then you have the banking system, that's the transactions, then you have the insurance system. The insurance system is what makes sure the equity has value and is risk managed, and then you have the equity owners. And to me, in the financial system, you have the central bank sort of running the train tracks, and that works up into the people who own the central banks and control the central banks. And that's really intergenerational pools of family capital. And those intergenerational pools have managers and family members who make decisions and collaborate and coordinate. It's much more organic than people think. Part is the competition between China and the United States. So, Iran is sort of pivoted in the middle because they're critical to a low cost of energy capital for China. So a major exporter to China. But Iran has stayed outside the system, the central banking system, and their central bank is essentially not owned or controlled by, the people who influence control in many of the Western central banks. So Iran's central bank was, I would say, the most important outlier when you look at the countries that were not in the sort of on board for the BIS model. And part of the reason it was the most important is the Iranians, you have a large population, they have very high.
And this is all the Lord doing. The Lord intentionally set it up, why Iran, will be outside of the global banking system. Okay. And these devils, because they want to tighten everything up, before they roll this technocracy out, and Iran was looked at as the leakage. Okay. They need to get Iran, with a Western regime in place. Okay. So they can be fully tied into the system. Now, like I say, Iran, they are going digital and they're compatible with the technocracy, but they didn't want to go in, okay, as do boys, okay, to the West. They ain't want to go in, all right, with puppet Western leaders. No, they want to go in with independence. They want to be independent. They want to have sovereignty in this new world order. Okay, and the Lord set it up because the devil had no choice but to go to war with Iran, which is going to trigger what? A war with Russia, a war with China, a war with Turkey, which is what? Ezekiel 38. Okay? Which is going to usher in who? Yahweh Shai. You see? So the Lord set this up, all right, for prophecy to be fulfilled. Because you can go into all different speculations and they did this because of this and they did this because of that, because ultimately it's to simplify everything because of prophecy, man. Okay? The Lord had Iran, it's like he dangled Iran in the face, okay, of these Western, okay, elites, and they went for it. They took the bait. You see, they were lured into the trap of prophecy, man. Okay? And now they locked in. Okay? And now they just got to ride this thing out, man. You see? And prophecy is in the driver's seat. So let's play some more.
High IQs, a 5,000-year tradition, which gives them, a lot of cultural power. They're very good at technology, but they have incredible resources, particularly with oil and gas. And I think one of the biggest questions I have about the memorandum of understanding is they want to bring Iran into the model. We're watching statements that say we're going to make major investments in Iran. To what extent is that investment going to build an infrastructure that is much more in the model? I don't know.
We've already sold over 2.9 million barrels, creating steady jobs for hardworking folks chasing.
So at the G20 meeting in 2024, you had all the G20 countries pledge allegiance to the BIS model of digital IDs and CBDCs. But there is enormous battle about who controls what aspects, who makes money implementing that, and is my digital control grid in China controlled in the city of London or controlled, in Beijing? So even though everybody's on board for centralized digital control, who's going to be at the top and who's going to be the middle management makes money. It's totally open to competition and debate. And that's what we're seeing. And I think Iran was clearly looking to have some level of independence. I don't see the BRIC nations as being an alternative. They are an alternative in the sense that they don't want a global unipolar model. Because if you're in a global unipolar model,
And I'll put that in the link. But she made some good points, like we've been saying. They all agree with the technocracy, but it's like, wait, who's going to control what? Who's going to have leverage? You see, they're trying to fight to who's going to have the controller in their hand. Okay, and it's the Lord that's doing this. You see, the Lord got these. Let me see. All right, the Lord got a brawl for it all spirit. Okay, on these elites. Okay, on these different nations. Okay, and the elites in their mind, they're just going to finance the winner. Okay, and establish, a technocracy through the winning side. Okay, but then you got to factor in who? Yahweh Shai, because he's going to come and destroy both sides. Okay, so that little gimmick that the elites play with betting on both sides. Okay, well, that's not going to work either, because both sides are going to be judged by Yahweh Shai. Okay, and that's why I say we know how this goes, man. That's why we're not on the edge of our seat, like, damn, the elites are doing this, they doing. No, nigga, we chilling, watching it. We chilling and watching the master plan of the Lord play out. You see, we front row seats, looking at the master plan of Yahweh Shema Shai play out perfectly, man. Okay, we're not on the edge of our seats, like, damn, these niggas might do it. No. It's finna be bad. It's finna go from bad to worse, and then it's gonna get worse from there, man. Okay? There's no good news for America, no good news for the elites. Okay? No good news for you heathen nations. Only good news for the elect of Israel, man. Okay? And everything playing out exactly how it needs to play out. Okay? Now, look at the ripple effect. Look at these. Look at the ripple effect of these things, and it all speaks. Okay, to prophecy, man. Now you have this alliance between Turkey, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia. Okay? This military alliance, okay, between, all right, Turkey, which is a major player in prophecy, okay, Saudi Arabia, the dragons of Arabia, and Pakistan, which is a part of the kings of the East. This is prophecy. So people look at this and try to say, oh, this because of this and this because of that, and they got this, and Saudi got the pipeline, and no prophecy. Okay, Ezekiel 38, Turkey. Okay, the dragons of Arabia, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, kings of the East. It's all prophecy, baby. Okay, you gotta overcomplicate this thing. This prophecy. This is what we watching, man. Okay, if a brother want to get that in second Esdras, the second Esdras, what's that, was it, is it 13, and was it 15, the dragons of Arabia, 15, 28 through 30, a brother want to get that, get a couple. I see brothers loading it up, the Y to you brothers again, for adding to the screen. Let's go here to, we'll play that in a minute. Let's see. All right, so this the brother Yashima tribe of Judah. And it says, Proverbs 19:21 said, there be many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, that shall stand. Okay? So these devils got plenty, counsels and ideas and agendas and things that they want to do. But if it's not within the counsel of the Lord, it's irrelevant. That's why a lot of things that we hear, especially listen to a clown like Donald Trump, like a lot of what they say is irrelevant. Okay, we pay attention to the things that pertain to prophecy. Okay, because Esau just do a lot, and that's also a way that this devil cause confusion, just be out here saying and doing anything, having so much going on, just flooding, the internet with all this random information, and that's another way he causes confusion too, have people overly concerned with things that don't matter. Okay, but as we stick to prophecy, okay, we're able to make clarity out the madness, man. We got the light and darkness. We got a light. Okay, we have the light, man, so we're able to see clear in the darkness that this man pushes out there, with all this mass information and disinformation and misinformation that he puts out there. No, we just know the counsel of the Lord, and we're looking for the counsel of the Lord to play out. And things like this, Turkey, Saudi, and Pakistan doing the defense pact speaks to prophecy. Okay, they can tell you a million things why this and why that. Well, they doing this because that no, we gotta get too deep in that, man. Okay, look at it. We just look at it from a perspective of prophecy, man. Okay, I think the brother put something up. This is the brother New Beginnings 144. Proverbs 21:1 said, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. And this is the elites. Okay, these are different, prime ministers and presidents and leaders of these nations. Okay, their heart, their mind is in the hand of the Lord. Okay, so what the Lord wants them to do to fulfill prophecy, they're going to do. Okay, even going into the inauguration, which they look at the birds and the pattern of birds, because even like with the president, they have wicked councils to see who's going to be president. That whole election thing is just, it's a farce. Okay, but they select these they select these specific men, okay, to be president and leader, based on certain omens. Okay, and the omen fell on Trump. Okay, was that's the perfect guy to tank this thing, man. Okay, this nigga has a track record of destroying businesses and corporations, man. And America nothing but a corporation, man. So he's the perfect clown, to have in there, man. You see? Now, let's play a little bit of this.
Discuss this further. I'm joined now from our Foreign Affairs editor, Kevin Gorgisani. Welcome. It's always great to see you. So,
three of the most powerful Sunni Muslim nations and nations, all three who are in one way or another allied with the United States. And it's built basically on bringing together each country's strength. You have Saudi Arabia, which is probably the most powerful, richest, stronger strategically Gulf nation that has the nuclear weapon, a key regional diplomatic player, also a strong military in Pakistan. And you have Turkey, which is a NATO member state. Turkey is also NATO's second largest military, and it has advanced military technology, NATO-grade military technology, and NATO-grade military industrial base. So it brings together all of these countries, and we're starting to get an idea of what exactly this defense pact actually means in the sort of that came out of that signature. And the main focus, of course, is collective security. That's what's in the text, further strengthening collective security, talking about peace, security, and stability in the region. But what is very important, and that was really the big question going into this agreement, it is also a mutual defense agreement. You have the line that says any armed attack against any one of the three countries is an attack against all, but insists that it is also something defensive in nature. So they're not going to go after other countries, but they are going to protect each other. And there was a Turkish official who spoke. We should see this. He insisted that this was defensive in nature, that it was not against any specific actor, and that it was also open to other countries. So maybe we could see this defense pact grow. And then he also added that this pact does not abrogate or replace any bilateral, multilateral agreements. Of course, this likely a reference to NATO, because Turkey is a NATO member. Turkey has mutual defense.
And Kat, why now? I mean, what can we infer from the timing?
Well, look, sources talking about this agreement have been saying that this has long been in the works, that this is not something that was just done, but clearly there is an impact and an influence from the current geopolitical situation in the Middle East, because there are shared concerns by these three countries, more or less, but they do see the same situation, the chaos in the region generally, whether it's military chaos, economic chaos, energy chaos. There's the question of the role that Shia Iran is playing in the region. There's also concern about Israel's assertiveness and their role in the region. And specifically for Saudi Arabia, there's also the realization that maybe the U.S. security umbrella that they've been so reliant on is not exactly the sort of big protection that it thought it was. But this agreement.
And what this shows is that America is a failing empire. Okay, whenever your vassals have to outsource their protection because you can't protect them, well, you're a failing empire. Okay, this is what they're saying. The fact that they gotta go to outside sources, for protection, when here it is, Saudi Arabia has spent all this money, on this military hardware from America. But it's defenseless, okay? And that's what Iran has exposed. That look, America can't protect y'all, man. Okay, these pacts that y'all got, with America is useless, man. Okay, and then what I learned too, listen to some stuff this weekend. These like Saudi Arabia, they pay for American military bases. Like all these GCC nations, they're paying to keep these bases operational. Bahrain, all right, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, okay, UAE, they pay to keep American facilities up and going in their country, man. And that's why they've been targeted, man. Okay, well, what's happening is these nations, all right, that are vassals to America are looking like, well, damn. The empire has become useless, man. Much more of a liability than an asset. Okay? So the fact that they got to outsource, okay, their security to someone else, all right, shows the weakness of the American empire, all right, in these last days. You see? So, let's get this thing, brother got it. Let's get that in a second. Ezra's. All right, this is second Ezra's. Chapter 15, verse 29, it says, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth. that they all right, that they all which hear them, okay, may fear and tremble, okay? Because what's going to happen, these nations are going to keep allying with each other, okay? Because you can see the writing on the wall that America is being written out the script, man. And it's prophecy, okay? America took this gamble and it backfired. Not only are they losing, but their reputation is finished to where now everybody is making these alliances to come against the whore, man. As the scripture said that they would. Okay, and even you got Yemen and Iraq, a lot of those, are Ishmaelites. Okay, part of the dragons of Arabia, man, because Yemen is on the Arabian Peninsula. Okay, and they're already allied, all right, with Iran, which is referred to as what? The Carmanians. Okay, so this is verse 30. All right, Second Esdras 15 and 30, Brother New Beginnings 144. It says, also the Carmanians raising their wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle, okay, and join battle with them, and they shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, man. Okay, so this is what we're seeing formulate, man. It's prophecy, and we seeing Iran is giving you a prelude of that power. Okay, they're destroying because those bases are like an extension of America. Okay, so we're seeing a portion of Assyria, which is modern day America, being destroyed. Okay, and when it goes nuclear, you best believe Iran got some things that's gonna come touch America, man. Okay, it's gonna destroy a portion of the actual landmass of America, man. Okay, when this thing goes nuclear, and all these nations, okay, what you say, spare no arrows. Okay, so let's get a couple more. Yeah, brother. This is the brother GMS DC Taza Doctor. Y'all I-144K, Romans 9 and 17. For the scripture said unto Pharaoh, okay, in Romans 9 and 17. For the scripture say unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up. Now, who was Apostle Paul speaking of in this chapter? He was speaking of Esau. You go to Romans the 9th chapter, he's speaking what? Esau have I hated. Okay, and then he goes from speaking about Esau, speaking about Pharaoh, man, showing you that Esau is the modern day Pharaoh. Okay, and the same way that the Lord raised up Pharaoh, all right, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth, man. Okay, so the Lord is going to get a reputation for himself, how he judges Esau. All right, he judged Esau for the world to marvel after this nigga and look at this nigga like some type of God who can make war with the beast. Well, wait a minute, we have an answer for that. Okay, we got an answer who's going to make war with the beast, and it's Yahweh by Shemal Shai. Then he say he will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And when he sends back Yahweh Shai, man, okay, Yahweh Shai coming back with that power, and it's going to be nothing but glory given to the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, Romans 9 and 18. Therefore, have he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will he harden. So what we're seeing with Esau, he's hardened. Okay, he's hard to try to pull this off, man. That's why it doesn't matter how it's going. He got to keep going because he's hardened. Okay, this is what we're dealing with, man. Esau is hardened, no matter how this thing is going. You see, so oh yeah, let's play this real quick. Let's play this. Just a few minutes of this. I might play it. And if a brother could get that in let's get Habakkuk chapter 2. think like verses 6 through 8, but I wish I'll get to the point. But let's play this real quick, man.
Donald Trump is closing down the White House all day today to the press as Iran is refusing to. Donald Trump is closing down the White House all day today to the press as surrender. Donald Trump is saying, Iran, you can control the Strait of Hormuz. Can you please just open it up? And Iran's like, nope, you owe us reparations. You need to make sure that Israel leaves Lebanon, and you need to get the United States military out of the region. Then maybe we'll consider opening up the Strait of Hormuz. Donald Trump's like, please, can I try to save face? And Iran's like, no, we're not going to let you do it. And Iran hit another tanker yesterday in the Strait of Hormuz. The Houthis hit hard in eastern Saudi Arabia, in Jubal. Another Aramco facility was hit very hard there. The Houthis struck hard in northern Yemen and in other areas of Yemen against these Saudi-backed groups there. And so Iran saying absolutely not. Just look at Donald Trump's press schedule for today. Close 8 a.m., 9:30, 12:30, 2, 2:45, 6:30 p.m. The American people are demanding answers. What the hell is happening, right? Donald Trump gave that, I don't even want to call it an interview. He called up his personal stenographer at Axios, Barack Ravid, and said, we're just going to play it low key with Iran right now. We're not really even negotiating. We're going to do semi-negotiation, and we're just going to let it be, because if we do nothing, then Iran is definitely going to just fall. That's the new line from the Trump regime. We're going to go low key with this right now and just let things evolve naturally, and we'll just see what happens. I mean, by the way, Donald Trump's just been looking awful these last couple of weeks. I mean, he's always looked awful, but remember how he looked a few weeks back? And then yesterday, he was at Bedminster in New Jersey. He was doing this weird stuff with some like a gold coin thing that he hands out, or some fake gold coin. You see Natalie Harp in the background right there. That's Donald Trump's human printer. Other people call her his other thing. Some people say caretaker. Some people say other thing. But that's Donald Trump. You see him there with Eric. He's doing, what the hell is Donald Trump even doing there? And then because he looked so awful, he was posting all of these AI images of himself. Because if you look at how he really looked, folks, it's bad. So here's an AI image he posted of himself and Gary Player at Bedminster. He's like, with the great Gary Player today at Bedminster. That's not what you look like. Here's what he looked like in those bruises that are on both of his hands and on his neck. They're spreading all up his arm right now. Zoom in right there. He is physically and cognitively declining quickly. And I know corporate news doesn't want to talk.
Yeah, y'all got a hell of a commander in chief, man. You know, that nigga look terrible, man. Okay. But let's get these priests up, because like he said, Iran not letting them niggas surrender. You know, Iran is not letting them surrender. Iran still striking tankers. Okay. You got in Yemen, they still striking tankers. So, and they making more demands. Okay. So what we're seeing is a fall of an empire, man. And this is prophecy. Ain't no getting out of this, man. Ain't no saying, well, we're going to do nothing. You can't not do nothing. You got to come on in. Okay, you gotta go all the way with it. You gotta, hey, you jumped out there tough. You gotta be tough all the way out now. Okay, this the brother servants of Yahushua, Habakkuk 2:6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him? And that's these different nations, man, that Americans have been bullying for all these years. Okay, now you seen all these alliances and treaties and pacts being made, and now they're coming at the whore. Okay, and they taunting proverb against him, saying, woe to him that increases that which is not his. How long and to him that laid himself with thick clay, man, yeah, because this man in his mind, he just gonna go throughout the earth just taking, man. No. Iran said, nigga, you ain't taking nothing. When he got to Iran, they was like, nigga, you not taking nothing. Okay? We not giving nothing. You see? So all this, you know, just going and taking and regime change and coups and civil wars and all this where it stops, because prophecy is stopping it, man. Iran just happened to be the nation that the Lord is using, okay, for this phase of prophecy, man. But prophecy is stopping this nigga, man. Okay? It says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land and the city and all that dwell therein, man. So now we're in the time where we're going to see America, okay, we're going to see these nations put pressure on America now. Okay, it's a transition. Okay, and the transition of power going to be short-lived, because Yahweh Shai going to come and take all the power from all these heathens, man. Okay, so yeah, it's beautiful to see these things building up, man, to see the Lord, our power at work, man. You know, and all we have to do is endure, like me and the brother Halak went into. It's just a waiting game now. You know, hey, the Lord got us in a good position to we can just wait, hey, just wait it out, man. You know, while prophecy is being fulfilled. So, you know, Lord will, you know, you brothers, all right, and you few sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Makabadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders, GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations to the whole elect. Shalom.